Two things before we kick off this video. Firstly, yes, the thumbnail is beautiful. I know some people might say, oh, Lego, come on, you just cut the guy out, you made him black and white, and you put him on a pink background. No biggie, right? And you know, I guess you could go out there and describe it like that, but there's a lot more intricacy when it comes to recreating album covers. I needed to get the texture right. I needed to make sure that the cutout of Igor was exactly the same as the Tyler, the Creator album. I had a very fun time last night making the thumbnail of this video. Secondly, today is indeed NHL Draft Lottery Day, so join us at 2:30 p.m. PST. We're starting the stream early. We're hanging out for about an hour before the actual NHL Draft Lottery goes down. And then, of course, we're staying live, so the entire drawing of the lottery balls and the entire acknowledging of the actual draft order itself. It's going to be a fun time. So join us if you want to see what's going to go on, in my opinions on the draft, your opinions on the draft. Get involved in the discussion. It's a good time whenever we go out there and stream, so I'm very excited myself personally. But this video is going to be about a 4-letter name. Igor. Man, I love saying it because I start thinking about Igor's theme and Tyler, the Creator. Yeah, okay, sorry for the tangent, but Igor Shesterkin is the New York Rangers' pretty much wild card at this point, isn't he? The reason this is a good day to make this video is because today we had ourselves the Vezina nominees actually get released into the media. Here's the tweet from Elliotte Friedman. The Vezina Trophy finalists are Jacob Markstrom from the Calgary Flames, UC Saros from the Nashville Predators, and Igor Shesterkin from the Rangers himself. Now, the first reply to this tweet, and I don't usually like to read replies from random people, but this is the first reply to Elliotte Friedman's tweet. Shesher bust doesn't deserve it after his awful performance in the playoffs. And then there's the laughing emoji twice. However, I think most people who watch this YouTube channel, you know that the playoffs don't really have any bearings on the awards and the nominations because all the voting is done before the postseason. So this list of Markstrom, Saros, and Shesterkin was already decided once those 82nd games of the year ended. Shesterkin now in the postseason has been playing a lot differently from how a Vezina Trophy finalist would probably play. In fact, this is NHL Watcher's recent tweet from this morning. Who would your first place Vezina vote go to? Saros, Shesterkin, or Markstrom? You can see that with 20 hours left, and with 1,500 votes, 79% of the people, that's right, the people on Twitter, just clicking the random buttons and scrolling through looking for hockey stories, would vote for Igor too. And again, it's for the same reason. The regular season is the only thing taken into account when making these votes. Now, for Igor Shesterkin in the regular season, I was actually planning to make a video about this, how legendary Igor's 2021-2022 was. Here are a few tweets from Cam Robinson that kind of highlights just how nutty everything was earlier on in the year. Here's the list of goaltenders who have produced a higher save percentage than Igor's 941 this season. This was back from February 26th, with a minimum of 30 games played. Jacques Plante. That's it. In the entire history of the NHL, this was wild. Now, Igor did not finish the year with a 941, he finished with a 935, so there were a few other guys in the NHL's history books who finished with higher save percentages than Igor did, but still, accomplishing the 7th best NHL save percentage in one season certainly isn't a bad thing. He's only behind Corey Schneider in 2012, Hasek in 99, Tim Thomas in 2010-2011, Brian Elliott in 2011-2012, and then the 2 Jacques Plante seasons in the 60s and 70s. Igor had a fantastic year, and it's why this entire playoff bust has been so rough to look at. Because even though Igor did have that first phenomenal game, Game 1 against the Penguins went to triple overtime, he had 105 minutes played, and he had 79 gosh darn saves. He had a 952 save percentage. Amazing right there. Even though he had that great start, even though he had the second game where he won, and he had a 951 save percentage, 39 saves on 41 shots and only 2 goals against, the 2 games in Pittsburgh, oh boy, they've been bad. Igor Shesterkin played 20 minutes in Game 3. He got pulled at the start of the second for Alexander Georgiev, and on 15 shots against, the guy let in 4 goals. It got even worse yesterday, when in Game 4 against the Pittsburgh Penguins, backs against the wall, the Rangers need to win this one to tie it up heading back to MSG. Igor Shesterkin allows in 39 minutes of gameplay this time 6 goals on 30 shots. At least he got to 30, but man, 6 goals against is not great. An .800 save percentage in this one, and a .903 goals against if you average out the math. Igor Shesterkin now in this year's postseason has a .905 total save percentage and a .426 goals against in 4 games played. Funny enough, his time on ice averaged out is about 56-23, which is close to a full game. It's because he had that crazy 105-minute game in Game 1 that averages out the lost time in Games 3 and 4. But this is kind of the funny thing about Igor, because I was kind of hyping him up to my parents as well. My parents, Filipino immigrants, first generation over here, independent immigrants back in the year 2001. They don't know too much about hockey aside from Vancouver stuff. And so anytime we have games on, I'm like, yeah, look at that Igor guy. That Igor guy was the best goalie in the regular season. He arguably was the MVP. He arguably could be getting Hart votes because he was so gosh darn dominant. He's one of the only reasons the Rangers are even in the playoffs in the position that they were. I know you have Zibanejad, I know you have Panarin, I know Kreider scored 50 goals, but come on. Igor led you guys to the playoffs. And I would kind of explain that to my parents. Yeah, look at him. He's crazy good. He had a 9.5 something in games 1 and 2, and then games 3 and 4 came along, and they were like, oh, he's letting in a lot of goals, isn't he? I thought this guy was supposed to be good. Now, to be fair, a lot of the goals that he has been letting in have been exactly the same. Tip-ins in front, redirections, deflections. They have been so clean for the Pittsburgh Penguins because the Rangers have not shown up to play in the slightest. The second period of yesterday's Game 4, I believe, had like 12 high-danger chances for the Penguins. Like, it's incredible. You go over to Money Puck, you see just the graph for that Game 4. Pittsburgh had a 98% chance to win on the deserve to win-o-meter. I've never seen it be this lopsided before. This is not, oh, because the game is over, it's already skewed that way. No, they're looking at the expected goals chances for both of these teams. And you can see that, the Penguins had, what was that, a 5 expected goals for in this game versus the Rangers' 0.8? The Rangers just completely did not show up to play, and it showed off in the worst way possible. You try to tally the amount of expected goals and high-danger chances that both of these teams had. It was just Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. Igor Shesterkin, sure. Does the guy deserve a Vezina? Absolutely. He was fantastic in the regular season. In the postseason? Sure. His numbers are terrible. His confidence probably took a beating when the fans in Pittsburgh were chanting, Igor, throughout the entire second and third periods. But you gotta remember, there is a team aspect to goaltending as well, and the Rangers have not done any favors for their number one goaltender in that respect. It's just so unfortunate to see because their Cinderella run to get to this position was so vast that you saw throughout 82 games just everything go right for New York. Everything was perfect for New York. You had Kreider getting 50 goals. And now in the postseason, this is what you're doing against Louis Domingue? This was absolutely not what the plan was supposed to be. They weren't supposed to be losing games 7-2, 7-4 against Louis Domingue. You were supposed to take advantage of Casey DeSmith not being there. But I don't know what it is. Maybe against lower caliber goaltenders, NHL teams just kind of take the foot off the gas pedal. We saw the exact same thing with the David Ayres game. Toronto, Carolina, all those years ago. So maybe it's a pattern that kind of just subconsciously exists in hockey players' minds that, oh, we're playing a worse goaltender, let's take it easy. Because it certainly looked like the Rangers were taking it easy yesterday. Am I salty that the Rangers are probably going to lose this series if they don't actually step up to the plate? Sort of. I did predict for them to win this series against Pittsburgh before getting eliminated in the second round by the Carolina Hurricanes in my bracket, so there is somewhat of a personal invested emotional interest for me. But just talking about Igor himself, he hasn't been getting any help. However, in the same vein, he hasn't really been the best either. So now, heading into Game 5, Gerard Gallant said it himself, Igor is their starter, and they're going to start Igor regardless because Igor is Igor. You have to go out there and believe in this guy because Shesterkin is just so gosh darn good when he is on. He just has turned off at the worst possible time that now you take a look at where the Rangers are. Down 3-1, this is not looking like a series that they're going to go out there and take, especially if they continue playing the way that they have. Gallant said that he is the best goalie in the league, and Igor is going to have to show that off in games 5, 6, hopefully 7, and maybe even the next round. Who really knows? Pittsburgh, they're not really used to losing 3 in a row in the playoffs, so uphill battle for sure, eh? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Igor Shesterkin and the diversion. What has happened from the regular season to the playoffs, how the Rangers have been bailing the guy out, and how the Penguins have taken another step in their postseason hunt. Do you think the Rangers bounce back? Do you think Igor bounces back? Do you think his save percentage stays above or below 910? Because his regular season save percentage, 935, that's fantastic. Being at a 904 or whatever it is right now certainly isn't at the same caliber, but it's not terrible. It's averaged out with that 952 and the 951 he had in games 1 and 2. Because, I mean, the 733 and the 800 that he had in games 3 and 4. Oh, boy, certainly big contrast there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British Trolls 99. Check out the channel at 2:30 p.m. PST because we're going to be streaming for the draft. Draft lottery, that is. Yeah, the lottery. And bye.